Hi everybody, it's Big Al for some content for Lord of the Rings Rise to War. Been getting questions lately about Balin and if he's usable. So we're going to do a commander guide on him since it's been a little bit since I've done one. Excuse me. So whenever you're doing a commander, you're going to want to look at their skills before anything. That way you know how to build them. So we're going to go through the skills. Lord of Moria grants follow-up healing after a small unit in the commander's formation deal their first instance of damage. So let's max it out. And he has a 45% chance to restore anywhere from 33 to 333% to one allied formation unit. And it's modified by focus. Chance increases to 60% at level 5. And at level 10, it's going to give the dwarf units plus damage of 2 or plus 1 hit point. That kind of helps because they nerfed the Guardians and they took away 2 hit points from them. So that helps alleviate some of that. So I'm going to look at his damage skills to start with. He has Durin's Blood, which is the best damage skill in the game. It does 700% physical damage once to 1 or 2 enemy formations. It also grants 10% skill damage at level 5, and then more commander attack, which is one of the most important things when you're building a damage dealing commander is commander attack. His second skill for damage is Revivalist. 30 to 300% physical damage once to one formation. Level 5, it has a 15% chance to inflict stun on the target for 1 round. Honestly, the skill lets off once every other round. 15% chance you're going to be getting one stun per fight. And then it also restores 70% hit points to the commander's formation unit. Okay, skill's okay. It's not the best. It's not the worst, but it's just okay. So with that, you would need commander attack and commander damage for those 2 skills. But his other skills don't line up with that. And I'll tell you why. I'm going to start with the R4 Warrior of the Lonely Mountain. That's going to buff 3 formations, attack and defense, up to 7 points, but it's modified by command stat, which is a huge thing. In addition, minus 5% damage from burn, and then minus 5% from focus at the different levels. So right there with that skill, you would need command, which you're not going to be able to build a commander attack right and have command. His other skill is each round, when small units in the commander's formation deal their first instance of damage, they gain follow-up healing, has a 45% chance to restore 33 to 330% hit points to 1 allied formation unit, and that's modified by focus. Well, focus also isn't going to line up with the damage skills. At level 5, increases to 60%, and level 10, you're gaining 2 points to damage on dwarf units and 1 hit point for the dwarf units. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it is something. They nerfed Guardians and they took 2 hit points away from them, so that gets them halfway back to normal. So, if you're going for damage, his other skills don't line up. I would rank him as more of a support. I think the support is going to be the role for him. But there's 5 or 6 other good-sized commanders that are better at support than he is. So I don't rank him that high. At the most, I would use him in a C team, maybe a B team, but that's me. I have a little bit more because I have 17 seasons played. But if you got unlucky and those were the invites that you got, and he has high respect, my opinion is he would be a support commander. and he would run behind a Frodo or a Falcon, you're going to want a tank in front of him. And all he's going to do is help buff. So what I would do is, again, if he's behind a Frodo or a Falcon, I'm respect 4 and he's only level 17, so I have 39 points. Okay, so that's 13 skills. So I would put 5 into Lord of Moria, and then the rest right here in attack and defense of 3 allied formations. The big thing is its effect is modified by command stat. And this one isn't as important, but it is affected by focus stat. So you're going to want a lot of command on him. So what I would recommend, and you're going to have to work with me since he's not level 20, the accessory isn't unlocked. But I would run him something like this, because he is affected by, everything is modified by command or focus in those skill trees. Let me move this gear around, and then I will tell you why. So you're going to have him behind Frodo or Falcon. You're going to want him to also absorb the hits because he's going to be have high command. Okay, and I'll tell you what I would put in that last spot. I would put the Drums of Moria because that gives you unit defense and command. So the reason I would put a crossbow on him is because it gives a little bit of focus, it gives the unit defense, and it gives command. I could go with a cutlass that gives more command and more defense, but I'm losing out on the focus. You don't want to focus highly on getting commander focus because healing isn't that big of a skill anymore. So I want to modify it just a little bit so it helps. So imagine this group, okay, with the Drums of Moria. Right there is the Drum of Moria. Okay, so all of his gear gets modified. His skills get modified. And this is going to help both. It's going to help, depending on who it hits, you're going to have 2 damage dealers, you're going to have a tank, you're going to have a support. So it's going to hit one of the supports, whether it's a tank or the support, guaranteed. And it's going to hit at least one of the damage dealers, guaranteed. So, like I said, he's going to be a support commander if you don't have any other options, if that's the best that you can do. So he does not rank anywhere near Frodo or Falcon. Erwin can be a decent support. Let's roll through here. Harrigan can be a decent support because him and Boromir both have this Warden skill that gives you a 45% chance to evade. He also has a healing skill. So all in all, only use Balin if that's the best you have. I hope what I've said makes sense and helps you see him in a different light. And that's all I got for today. So, like I always say, make the best out of what you got.